Hello, my friends. I was thinking about the Haggadah that my family tends to use each year. It's called A Night to Remember. And this Passover is certainly going to be a night to remember, or 2 nights to remember, or a whole holiday to remember, as it is truly going to be unlike any other Passover that most of us have ever celebrated, and hopefully unlike one that we will ever celebrate again. But there are many unique and strange things about Passover, some intentional in order to raise our curiosity and cause people to ask questions and have conversations around the table, and others that I don't think are necessarily there intentionally to be unusual or to be perplexing. But one element of the Passover Seder that perplexes me and that is just seems very strange from year to year is the part of the Seder where we say, Halawa Anya di achalu, the bread of affliction that we eat on this night. Kol dichvin yetev yechol, anyone who is hungry, we welcome them to come and eat with us. It is the strangest invitation. Number one, the timing of the invitation is so bizarre. When are we inviting people who are hungry to come and eat with us? We're inviting them after the meal has already begun. Right? Halawa Anya is said after Kiddush, after we're already sitting around the table, all dressed for Yontif and, into our meal already. And that's the time when we're inviting people to come and eat with us. Second of all, what are we inviting them to come and eat? Lechem oni, the bread of affliction? We're not inviting them to eat the gefilte fish or the chopped liver or the brisket. The thing that we are inviting them to come and partake of is arguably the most unappetizing part of the meal, the matzah. What kind of a strange thing is that to invite people to come and eat with us? And finally, how many of us really mean it when we say Halawa Anya? Even if you go to the door and you open the door and you say those words out into the evening, Halawa Anya, an invitation to whoever might hear. Do we really want people to come into our homes? Are we really inviting people to literally come and take a seat at our table? As my friend Rabbi Uri Topolaski recently said, if we don't mean it really or literally during normal circumstances, we certainly don't mean it this year. We actually don't want people to come in from the outside into our homes with a virus and with a contagion in the world. We don't mean it this year, for sure, and we probably don't mean it most years either. The question is, what sense are we to make of Halawa Anya? Another one of my favorite Haggadahs is the one published and commented upon by Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, and he says that the true meaning of Halawa Anya is the understanding, the transition from matzah as a bread of affliction to matzah as the bread that our ancestors ate at the first meal that they celebrated as they were free from Egyptian slavery. There's a transition that happens there. It is at once lechem oni, the bread of affliction and poverty, but also the bread of celebration, the bread of renewal, the bread of a festive meal partaken of by recently freed slaves. And what is the catalyst that transforms bread of affliction into bread of celebration? He says it is the desire to share that bread with others. I think that's so powerful. He says that he learned this lesson from none other than Primo Levi, one of the great chroniclers of the Holocaust, a survivor of Auschwitz, who talked about how in 1945, the half-dead, emaciated survivors of a recently evacuated Auschwitz offered precious bread to one another. Even though the rule in Auschwitz was to eat whatever bread you could get your hands on, and even someone else's if you could get your hands on their bread. He said that these survivors of a camp that had recently been evacuated were sharing their bread with others. It was the first act that liberated people did, was to share food with one another. It's a beautiful insight. It's a beautiful idea about how the bread of affliction can become bread of celebration and gratitude. This year, we're not able to share our food as widely as we might like to. We're not able to share our meal with as many family members and friends as we usually would. But the desire to do so, the desire, the willingness to offer our bread to others is as strong, if not stronger, than ever. So what I would urge all of us to do is to really internalize that desire. And when this is all over, this pandemic, this contagion, this disease, this virus, and we're able to resume our normal lives and our normal patterns of existence, that we hold on to that desire to invite others and to share our food with others and to make good on that as soon as we possibly can. The next available Shabbat dinner, the next available opportunity, once we are able to resume normal social interactions, let's carry that desire to share and to experience fellowship and eating and community and issue those invitations as soon as possible, so that even though we can't fill up our tables on this Passover, that we will retain that desire, that transformative desire to share our food with others and make good on that as soon as possible. In this Haggadah of mine, this beautiful Night to Remember Haggadah, on the section where it talks about Halawa Anya, there is a commentary by Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik in which he says, Halawa Anya is the renewal of a pledge of solidarity among the Jewish people, solidarity between individual and individual, and between the individual and the Jewish community as a whole. It is a proclamation that we are one people and that we are ready to help one another. With those sentiments and that blessing, I hope that you hold on closely and strongly to the desire of solidarity that we wish to experience with each other, and as soon as it is possible to act on it, that we issue invitations far and wide, and that we experience the joy of sharing lechem, of sharing our food and our meals with one another. I wish you all a wonderful Monday and a blessed week ahead.